अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today we are going to start from 15th verse number 15th. Yesterday we finished 14th verse. So today we'll start with 15th verse. And in the 15th verse, now the means for the accomplishment of Purusharth is stated. Yes. So this is which one?
This one doesn't have a number.
No, this is not the one. Go further up, up. No, no.
Down.
Next
Down.
page, yeah, down, yeah. Yes, this one. Vipreet. Okay. Below that, there is ha. Now the means for the accomplishment of Purusha, that is spiritual effort, is stated. Okay. So, Vipreet Abhinivesham. Vipreet Abhinivesham means wrong belief, false belief. Okay. Abhinivesham means abhipray. Abhipray means Shraddha. Shraddha means belief. Okay. So Vipreet Abhinavesham Nirasya. Okay. So Nirasya means to destroy. Then Samyak Vyavasai. So Samyak is right and Vyavasai means knowing it. Okay. Nij Tattvam. So Nij Tattvam is our own self. Yat. Yat means that. Tasmat. Tasmat means what it says. From that means one's own true nature. Then avichalanam, not deviating or not falling away. Sa eva, that alone. I am this. Purusharth Siddhi Upay, means of accomplishing Purusharth. So, first of all, you have to destroy the false belief. Okay. Having destroyed the false conviction means belief, and having ascertained one's own intrinsic nature. That means having manifested right belief. Okay. So on one hand, we are destroying the false belief. So when you destroy the false belief, the right belief automatically manifest. Okay. Then not deviating from that very nature. So once you have developed the right belief, now you have to stick to it. You cannot deviate from it. Okay. If you deviate, then again you get into the false belief. So now you have acquired the right belief. Now not deviating from that very nature, this alone is the means. Now not deviating from that very nature means your nature is just to know and see. Now if you don't deviate from that nature, you don't become a doer, then this alone, only becoming a knower, only becoming an observer, is the means by which the accomplishment of effort is attained. Okay. So this is only the process that first you get rid of the false belief, that is delusion. Then when you get rid of delusion, then you manifest right belief. And when you manifest right belief and then you stick to it, you don't deviate from it. That means your true nature is to just to know and see, and you continue in that manner. Okay, then this alone is the means by which the accomplishment of Purusharth is attained. Okay. Bhavarth. What was stated earlier, that taking karmically generated modes at one's own nature is itself false conviction. So in the verse number 14 that we did yesterday, it was said that what is the root cause of all this transmigration? This is the root cause, that taking karmically generated modification as one's own nature. It was a fallout of the karma, and you considered it as your own nature. That is the false conviction, which is the seed of sansar. Okay, this was all discussed in 14th. And destroying that false conviction from the very root is right faith, right belief, samyak darshan, knowing in accordance with reality. Now, you have already manifested the right belief. Now, knowing in accordance with reality, the pure conscious nature distinct from karmically generated modes is right knowledge. So, right belief, once the belief is right, the knowledge also becomes right. Now you know two clear-cut distinctions. One side is your pure conscious nature, and the other side is the alien disposition which are karmically generated. Okay. So this is called the science of discrimination between the two, and that is called the right knowledge. Now coming on to the right conduct, and remain unwavering without oscillation. Okay. So oscillation is moving from one side to another side, then another side to one side. Now you have stabilized, okay, and remaining unwavering without oscillation in one's own nature, stabilizing in one's one nature, being indifferent to karmically generated modes. Okay, that means you are remaining indifferent to alien dispositions, okay, is right conduct. So this is the right conduct, and the collective unity of these three inner states, that is right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, the collective unity of these three inner state alone is the means by which this jiva's purpose is accomplished. There is absolutely no other means. So the three gems, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, is the only means. Everywhere it is established this, and this three comes along with the beginning of the right belief. So our syllabus is very short. We have to manifest the right belief, and to manifest right belief, you have to know the 7 fundamentals very clearly, and that is all is required. Nothing more. Reading so many scriptures and Karnan Yoga and Charnan Yoga and Dravyan Yoga and all four exposition. It's a very, very vast resource of scriptures. But to manifest right belief, you need just 7 fundamentals, clear understanding of soul, non-soul elements, then influx, bondage, stoppage, dissociation, and liberation. Bas. This is the syllabus. Okay. Now, the next verse, those who engage in these means are now described. Who are engaging in this means? Okay. Predominantly the monks, and secondarily the householder also. Okay. They also have this unity of right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, those who have manifested right belief. Okay. So now we move on to the 16th. Anusartam. Anusartam. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. So Anusartam is of those who follow this stage, okay, constituted by the three jewels. So who is following this? Predominantly monks. Muninam. Muninam means Muni, the monks. Vrith, conduct, mode of living. Karambita, achara, nitya, nirabhimukha. Always completely averse to conduct mixed with sinful activities. So the monks have renounced all sinful activities. Okay. The householder still has sinful activities which are unavoidable at his stage. Okay. But the monks, they have completely renounced the five sins. That's why they have manifested five major woes. Okay. So, then Ekanta Virati Rupa, having the form of exclusive renunciation towards non-self substances. Okay. Alaukik, extraordinary, bhavati becomes. Okay. Now we'll see the meaning. The mode of conduct of great munis who have attained this stage constituted by the three jewels does not resemble worldly conduct. People in worldly conduct are indulging in sinful activities, but the monks are not indulging in sinful activities. So there are around 5 points where they have compared the worldly people and the monks. What is the difference between the worldly people and the monks? That is coming up. That is what is being stated. Okay. So this is the only meaning of the verse number 16. Now what are the difference between common worldly people and the monks is being explained. Worldly people, being attached to sinful activities, engage in them. Munis do not even contemplate sinful activities. They even do not contemplate. Okay. Getting into sinful activities is very far, far, far. They even don't get into contemplation of sinful activities. Okay. They have developed so much of purity. Second point, worldly people protect and nourish the body in various ways, whereas the monks deliberately allow various hardships, parishas, afflictions to arise for the body and endure them. Okay. They don't break, they endure them on the basis of discriminative knowledge. Okay. Third point, sensory objects appear extremely pleasant to worldly people, whereas the monks regard objects of the senses as being like deadly poison. They don't want to get into it because they know it's a poison. If I get involved in it, my internal purity will get reduced. So they don't get into it because their objective is to manifest complete purity of attributes. Okay. So with that, yesterday also we discussed, when you have big aims, automatically your efforts also go to that level. Okay. Now Darshiji, if you target to earn say 1 lakh rupees a month, you will work in that manner. Now you suddenly increase your target to 10 lakhs a month. Definitely you have to put in extra efforts, right? You have to contact more clients. You have to reduce price a bit. You have to get into that competition, lot of things, right? But we still do it because our objective was there. So since the monk's objective is to manifest complete 100% purity, that's why they do such things. Okay.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
In this point number 2, where it
Hmm.
says worldly people protect and nourish the body in various ways, whereas Muni Rajas deliberately allow various hardships to arise
Hmm.
for the body and endure them. Is this hardship when they're enduring it? Is their way of thinking like my karma is getting reduced? Is that how they think, or
Yeah,
is it wrong to think
they
like
have
that?
their mind, their knowledge is so much of structured that the moment there is a hardship, they don't have to think twice. They know how to practice discriminative knowledge. So immediately in that moment only, they connect to their self. Okay. And hardship is happening at the body level, but they have connected to the self. So they are extracting eternal bliss from the soul. They are busy in that. So when they are busy in one place, then whatever is happening to the body hardly matters to them. And that is how they endure it. Okay.
Okay.
Just that connection. Forget about the monks, even the hellish being, Narki, the right believer Narki, they also are very happy over there. From outside, constant torture, afflictions, physical harm happening all the time. Okay. But internally, they are at peace because of that connection. So, whoever connects to the soul always enjoy eternal bliss. Okay. And just because they enjoy that eternal bliss, they try to extract it more by stabilizing in the self, by concentrating in the self. And that's how the purity keeps on increasing and the impurity keeps on decreasing. So once you are there, you keep on improving on it. Okay. And it becomes so easy. From outside, you see that if I become a monk, I had to go to the forest and there are wild animals and these and that. Nothing doing. They go on the basis of the eternal bliss that they are enjoying. They want more of that. So they take so much of steps without worrying anything and without contemplating about those problems also. They know that they will be able to endure because their connection is becoming stronger and stronger as the time passes. Okay. So these were the 2 points. The third point, sensory objects appear extremely pleasant to worldly people, whereas monks regard objects of the senses as being like deadly poison. This was also done. Fourth point, worldly people find the presence of groups of people pleasing, whereas monks feel distress when association with other occurs. The monks doesn't want to mingle with the householders, only in special cases they only go only for their alms. Otherwise they come back and they don't discuss too much with the householder, because if they discuss too much with householder, if they come in contact with householder in more for more time, their internal purity will get destroyed. They know. So they hardly make any contact. They just go take the alms, come back. If anybody asks any questions, then they do answer, and otherwise they don't talk only. Okay. So this was the fourth point. Fifth point, worldly people find inhabited places attractive, but a monk finds a solitary place alone to be agreeable. Okay. How far need one go in stating this? The mode of life of a great Muni is in every respect opposed to worldly ways. Okay. Because their thought process has changed, their understanding has changed. So they are like that. Now we will move on to the 17th one. The sequence of giving instruction is now stated. If somebody comes to a monk, what the monk should instruct to that seeker. Okay. There is a clear cut instructions given in the scripture, and if the monk doesn't follow that trend, then they are punishable. Such strong words have been written. Let's see. The sequence of giving instruction is now stated. Okay. Bahusa, repeatedly. Samasta, samasta viratim, complete renunciation. Pradarshittanam, having been shown or explained. Yo na jat grihati. Jatu is anytime, and yo ya yo means who, and na grahanti does not accept. Okay, na grahanti. Tasya kedasha viratiha. Tasya is for that person. Ek desh virati, partial renunciation, householders discipline. Anena bijana, on this very ground, for this reason, kathaniya, should be taught, explained. Now uh, I will explain in a flow. If a being, even after many instructions, bahusa, okay, again and again, if even after many instructions, does not at any time accept the practice of the great vows, that means they don't become the monk, which is completely free from sinful activity. So the monks getting into monkhood is to be free from sinful activity. Okay. Then such a being should be instructed in partial renunciation. So first what they will try, if you go to a monk, Rajeshri ji, what they will instruct you?
Sir, I just joined. I don't know what's happening also. I just
So
joined
they will
into this.
instruct you to become a monk.
Yeah, that is there. They'll
Ah.
first tell you to take all vrats. Monks tell that. Ye
No, no,
karo,
no.
wo karo.
No, here some different, they have given different aspect to it. First of all, the monk should give the seeker option to become a monk. Then if he refuses that I cannot become a monk, I cannot follow the 5 major vows, then they will instruct to become an householder, vow holder. Okay. So this is the sequence. If they don't follow this sequence, then the monks are punishable. Such strict words have been written. It's coming in the next words. Let's finish this one. So such a being should be instructed in partial renunciation, that is the discipline of the Sravak, layperson or a householder, in this manner. Now, the interesting part is why he should be given instruction to become a monk first. Okay. For that, there is another verse coming up. I think that is the 20th one. No, 19th one. Okay. So first we read the 18th one and then we move on to the 19th one. Okay. Let's see the Bhavart. A jeev who is inclined to listen to instruction should first slightly up. Should first be taught the discipline of the Muni repeatedly. If that jiva does not accept the Muni state, then thereafter it is appropriate to instruct him in the discipline of the Sravak. Below that, the proper method, now the next, yeah, this one. The proper method of instructing in the Sravak Dharma is also laid down, and instruction should be given only in that manner. Those who abandon this proper sequence and give instructions are censored, as stated. Okay. Now the 18th one. Yo means that. Yo yati dharmam. Okay. Yata, yata means because, tena, by that, okay. Durmatina, foolish minded teacher, okay. Yo yati dharmam kathayum padashiti grihastha dharma malam mati, okay. So the Durmati is the foolish minded teacher. Akrama thakena, by instruction given out of sequence. Ati duram, api, even very far. Protsamana api, even though eager and capable. Sishya is disciple. Aped api, even in an inferior position. Sampratipat, satisfied. Pratari ta bhavati, becomes deceived. The meaning of this, a teacher of shallow understanding. Shallow understanding means foolish minded teacher, okay, who doesn't go deep, okay, who doesn't go deep is a teacher of shallow understanding, who without expounding the discipline of the Muni teaches the discipline of the householder. So he has altered the order, okay. First you should give instruction to become a monk, and then if you refuse, if the seeker refuses that no, I won't be able to become, then you give him the second option, right? But first you should give him the best option to become a monk. Why monk? Because monk have renounced everything and they are full time into meditation, okay. So the monks are into wholesale business, and the Shravak is into retail business, okay. So big difference. So uh, without expounding the discipline of the Muni teaches the discipline of the householder, such a teacher has been shown in the teachings of the Bhagwan to deserve disciplinary censure, okay. Now see the commentary. A teacher of inferior understanding, okay, shallow understanding, who without giving instruction in the discipline of the Muni teaches the discipline of the householder, is declared in the teaching of the Bhagwan to be deserving of disciplinary action, punishment, okay, and it's a big punishment. Now we would wonder that why, if he is not ready to take the monkhood, at least he is taking the post of an householder, okay, that is still good. But no, first of all, you should give him the instruction to become a monk. Very good logic given in the next verse. So we will connect with that. Let's see, the Bhavarth is almost the same. Okay. Only thing is that the correct, he should be given praischita, corrective discipline. Okay. What is the reason for imposing discipline on such a teacher is now explained. Now this is very important, and for this only I shared one article on enthusiasm. Okay, did you read it? So it was very good. This was an AI version, but now I will give you the religious reason behind that. Okay, let's first get into this 19th one. Because through instruction given out of proper sequence, even a disciple who is highly enthusiastic, though capable of going very far, okay, becomes satisfied in a low position, that is of a householder, and is thereby deceived by that teacher of perverse understanding. So the teacher is not proper, so he is not giving him the right instruction. Okay. Now why is he is to be punished? Okay. Because this enthusiasm, the whole path of liberation is dependent on the enthusiasm. When you are very enthusiastic, automatically the delusion goes away. there is only one thing that we have with us, the enthusiasm. The enthusiasm is sufficient for the delusion to go, to suppress the delusion, to manifest the right belief. Only enthusiasm works. You have already seen what are the advantages of being enthusiastic. Okay, you enjoy every moment. Now we are into this course. Okay, I am teaching, you are studying. Our enthusiasm level has gone up in terms of Dev Shastra Guru, not in terms of business. Okay, right? And in terms of business, we are become I can say lethargic little bit, because you know that whatever has to come will come. So even if you miss out an opportunity, you don't mind, because you know that whatever is in my punya, I will definitely get. Okay. If some stocks go up and some doesn't go up, you don't mind, because you know at the end of the day, what is my punya that I'm going to get anyways. Even if I don't do anything, I'm going to get. But here in the path of liberation, whatever efforts you make, you get instant result. I cannot I cannot think of any other business which is so attractive of getting into this religion. It's the best business that one can do, because all other are dependent on luck. You may be a very good analyzer, but the moment you buy that stock, it starts falling. You cannot do anything. The market is not in your control, right? So this is where we need to put in our efforts. Everything else, little bit here and there will do, no problem, right? But here you are getting 100% value for your efforts. Okay, so the enthusiasm is very important. This enthusiasm only kills the delusion, like anything. It's only the warrior for us. This enthusiasm, it's acting as a warrior for us against delusion. This enthusiasm can defeat the delusion very easily. And if you are not enthusiastic, then you will also not enjoy, and your effort will also not be very sharp. So enthusiasm is very important. So when somebody is very enthusiastic, he can go very far. Sky is the limit. Yesterday we talked of that book. What was the name? The Magic of Thinking Big. What it is? You think big. You have great ambitions, and things will automatically unfold. A student who thinks of getting pass marks like 40%, his efforts are also like that only. And a student who feels that he wants to top, I want 100 marks, his effort will be according that. Okay. So it's all very interconnected. So if you are very enthusiastic, automatically you enjoy also. At the same time, your effort is also very concentrated. At the right moment, right opportunity, you are ready to tap every right opportunity. Okay. So the student was enthusiastic, and if he would have been given the instruction to become a monk, he would have become a monk. But the teacher faltered, and he gave instructions to become a householder. So he accepted householder. So the teacher is to be punished. That is what this verse says. I'll repeat. Okay. 19th one. Yeah. Because by instruction, this is the commentary Tika, because by instruction given out of proper sequence, by that foolish minded teacher, the listening disciple is deceived. Why is this disciple deceived by hearing instruction in the Shravak Dharma at the very outset? The reason for this is now stated. Why is the disciple like? Even though he was enthusiastic and capable of going very far, he nevertheless became satisfied even in an inferior position. Okay. Although the disciple was filled with enthusiasm to advance to a very high spiritual level, he still became content in a lower inferior state. In the inner disposition of this disciple, such intense enthusiasm had arisen that if he had first heard the discipline of the Muni, he would indeed have accepted the status of a Muni. However, because the instructor first taught him the discipline of the Sravak, he accepted that alone. As a result, he remained deprived of the discipline of the Muni. Therefore, that teacher is deserving of disciplinary action for this ordinance. Okay. Now you must have understood, in the verse number 201 of Pravachan Sar, what they have mentioned, if you want to get out of this cycle of transmigration, then you become monk. Straightway, they have given instruction. If you want to enjoy your life, become a monk. Because monks are dealing in wholesale business. Their frequency of self-realization is very high. Their quantity of eternal bliss is very high. Okay. The householder, although he is a right believer, but the frequency of self-realization is very low compared to the monk. And the quantity is also very less. Okay. So the monks are supposed to be doing wholesale business and the Sravak is supposed to be doing retail business. There is a difference. Okay. So becoming a monk is the ultimate thing. And whoever has got liberated, they have got liberated because they have become a monk. Nobody has got liberated in the position of a householder. Okay. So any day, to become monk is always a better thing. Okay. And the disciple was very enthusiastic. So the teacher, if would have instructed the discipline of a monk, he would have become a monk. So these are the momentum that you have to that you have to that you have to grasp. One step, right step, next step automatically comes up, and one wrong step, next step is also wrong. So it's a very big difference. So we have to be alert at every stage what we do. We should contemplate twice before taking any action. But once the action is taken, then there is no looking back. Okay. So this is how your approach should be. Now this is the end of this chapter. Now we are starting a new chapter, that is Shravak Dharma. Okay. In this scripture, Purshat Siddh Upay, Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev has given special instruction for the householder. Okay. Predominantly only householder, not of the monk. For monk, you can refer Astpaud, then you can refer Bhagavati Aradhana, then you can refer Niyamsar. These are exclusive for the monks. But for the householder or a lay person, Pursat Siddhi Upay and Ratnakaran Sravakachar, these two are exclusively for householders. Okay. So here instruction is given. So even the instruction is for the householder, the path begins with the right belief. So first we have this chapter of right belief. Okay. Right belief chapter. For those jivas who are incapable of accepting the discipline of the Muni, the Acharya expounds Shravak Dharma. Here, what a Shravak should practice as a means of Dharma is being explained. Okay. 20. Thus, even for that householder, the path to liberation, consisting of the triad of right faith, that is right belief, right knowledge and right conduct, unity of all these three, becomes something that should always be practiced according to one's capacity. Okay. So even for that householder, what he should do first and foremost, he should manifest this right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. This should always be practiced. Okay. As you practice more, your spiritual stages keep on going up and up. And one day you become a monk. That's a very general transition from a householder to a monk. Okay. All the 12 vows, minor vows are all related to that. Then we have 11 pratimas. Okay. These pratimas are also steps to get into monkhood. Okay. So these all come naturally. Now we'll see the commentary. Even that householder should practice, according to his capacity, the path to liberation of the kind that is being described further on. So what is the path of liberation? The right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. The three gems, okay, or the three jewels is the path to liberation. Now they will explain one by one. First, we will see the right faith. Okay. 21. Among these three, first of all, right faith, that is right belief, should be fully adapted with complete and careful effort. Because only then, because only when that is present, do right knowledge and right conduct come into being. Okay. One day I had given you this list of 19 out of infinite attributes that we have, each of us have, 99.99999% of attributes are manifesting pure. Only there are 21 attributes that are manifesting in an opposite manner. And out of the 21, 3 are major. And out of the 3, 1 is major, and that is the belief attribute. Okay. So first of all, first we have to manifest the right belief. And once the right belief is there, the knowledge also becomes right, and the conduct is also termed as right. Okay. So first of all, we have to manifest the right belief. Commentary. Among these, first of all, samyaktva, right belief, should be fully adapted with complete effort. That is, among the 3, right faith must be adapted first by every possible means. Okay. By every possible means, that means they are referring to Samaisar. In Samaisar, there is one Kalash where it says that at the cost of death, you manifest right belief. You develop interest in these fundamental elements at the cost of death. Okay. So that is easy. 21. Okay. By every possible means and in whatever way is feasible. Upon its attainment, liberation is certainly attained. Without it, liberation is absolutely impossible. It is the unique cause for the attainment of one's true nature. Therefore, even the slightest negligence should not be allowed in adapting it. One should strive to attain it even at the cost of one's life. Okay? At the cost of death, you can risk your life to manifest this right belief. We don't have such challenges. We are so fortunate to have all the good things in life, right? We don't have to start 7 in the morning to go for earning. We are all by our past deeds, we have all got good luck. So we have got benefit that we have the liberty to not to go for work or not work at all. Okay. And study the scriptures. Okay. But there are people in Mumbai, we see they start at 7 o'clock in the morning. They go to the station, catch up a train, the whole day they are in office. And by the time they come back at home by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they are completely exhausted. Then they are not able to do any studies. I was not able to do studies in the evening. So I made it a point that I will wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and 5 to 10 is my time. And then I used to open my mobile and see what calls have come and what, then that will start. But 5 to 10 was my personal time, even while I was doing full-time business. I made it a point that I am not going to compromise on this, because this is the development that I want. And there, it's all by luck. There your effort doesn't work. Frankly speaking, it doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work. Even if you stopped working, whatever money you have to get, you will get. I have practiced it myself. Okay. So I'm very sure about it. Okay. Upon its attainment, liberty is certain. Without it, liberty is not. It is the unique cause for the attainment of one's true nature. Therefore, even the slightest negligence should not be allowed in adapting it. One should strive to attain it even at the cost of one's life. How much more can be said? There is no means for the welfare of this jiva equal to right faith, right belief. Therefore, it must certainly be adopted, because the path of liberation begins with right faith. Okay. Now we move on to the 22nd. Thus, so that one who knows the characteristics of right faith may adopt it. Its characteristic is stated first. So now we will see the 8 characteristics of the right belief, right faith. We have studied this in Chardala. Okay. And where else we have studied it? I don't think anywhere else we have studied it, but in Chardala it was there, very much there. Nishankit, Nikangshit, all the 8 components of right faith. Okay. So before that, this is the introductory part of that 8 components. Okay. 22nd. One must always practice conviction regarding the real entities such as Jeev and non-Jeev, soul and non-soul elements. That conviction which is free from contrary fixation. Contrary fixation means false belief, is of the very nature of the soul. What kind of conviction should be practiced? Below. Yeah. One that is free from vipreet abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means abhipray, abhipray means shraddha, shraddha means belief. Okay. One that is free from false belief. That is from false belief in the form of taking one thing as another. What is false belief? Taking one thing as another is the false belief. The conviction is of the nature of the Atma. Okay. The conviction that arises in one who has attained destructive shaik right faith remains until the state of liberation. Okay. So, destructive right belief is the one shaik samyak drashti. Okay. It stays till the state of liberation. But if it is any other one, like opshamik samyak drishti or sayapshamik samyak drishti, subsidential right belief and destructional subsidential right belief, both the cases, they might get into false belief also. They might come back into false belief also. But if it is a destructive right belief, then there is no chance of falling. Okay. Therefore, it is not an adventitious condition, but the intrinsic nature of the soul. What does that means? This is the 22 we are doing, na? Okay, 22. So, just before the Bhavarth. Okay. So this destructive right belief has been manifested not because the rise of any karma. Okay. It is in the absence of karma that destructive right belief has manifested, and it is going to remain there till liberation. And in liberation also the destructive right belief remains. Okay. Therefore, it is not an adventitious condition. That condition which has risen because of the rise of some karma. Okay. That is not the condition, but the intrinsic nature of the soul. Okay. So now we will move on to the 8 components straightway. Verse number 23. Okay. All the 7 fundamentals have been explained here. You can, as a revision, you can do it in homework, but we will get into the 8 components of right belief. Verse number 23. So here Jeev, Pudgal, Dharma, Adharma, everything is explained. Akash, Kal, all the 6 substance and then the 7 fundamentals. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, this is the first one. So here the chat GPT, it was in Hindi, Samyak Darshan ke 8 ang. So ang, the chat GPT has translated into limbs. Okay. But we have to cut the limbs and we have to write components. 8 components of right faith. Okay, Darshit ji. Everywhere limb will come, but we have to mention it as components. So what is the first component? You have to write here again the name. In Hindi, it is written Nishankit Ang. Okay. But a good word would be doubtlessness in elements. Write down doubtlessness in elements. Doubtlessness in elements. So the right believer has a firm conviction in the 7 fundamental elements. There is no doubt. Okay. Because when you manifest right knowledge, the right knowledge is devoid of 3 flaws. The first one was doubt, the second one was perversity, and the third one was indecision. All these things are not there in the right knowledge. Okay. So the right believer has manifested the right knowledge. So because he has manifested right belief, this has cropped up. These 8 components have cropped up. Okay. So doubtlessness in 7 elements. Okay. Let's see. The entire collection of entity has been declared by the omniscient ones to be of the nature of non-one-sidedness. Okay. Anekant. Non-one-sidedness means anekant. Therefore, one should never entertain doubt as to whether it is true or false. If you have doubt, then it's difficult to remain a right believer. Okay. So one who becomes a right believer, not only when he becomes a right believer, but before that, all these components gets manifested to some degree. Okay. Although they are not mentioned as this uh, the components of a right belief, because right belief has not manifested, but somehow they start getting developed. Okay. The original, the official declaration would only be happening when there is a when you have experienced the self. But before experiencing the self also, to some level, these 8 components do get developed. Okay, it could be less for someone, more for someone. Someone will have more of one of the components, the other will have more of another component, but it will be there. Okay, and when it manifests the right belief, this becomes official. Okay, so first one is the Nishankit Ang. So we just read. Okay, now we will see the translation of the verse. Okay, the omniscient has declared that this entire aggregate of entities, okay, that is the 7 fundamental elements, Jeev and the rest, is of an anekant nature, non one-sidedness nature, that is possessed of multiple aspects. Okay, therefore one should never entertain the doubt, is it true or is it false? This is the limb, or this is the component called Nishankit. Okay, freedom from doubt or doubtlessness, that also you can write. Freedom from doubt is also meaning the same. Okay, the omniscient Lord has described this entire collection of entities, Jeev and the rest, as possessing a many-sided nature, that is, as endowed with multiple aspects. One should therefore never entertain the doubt, is it true or is it false? The freedom from doubt is called Nishankit, no shanka, no doubts. Okay, there is a story for each of these components. Okay, so I'll just relate the story in short. For this, there is a story of Anjan Chor. Okay, so previously he was the son of a king, but he got into bad company, and he got into all the 7 vices, and the king uh, the king expelled him from his kingdom. Okay, so he was in wrong company, so he was not in this state where the king was ruling, so he was in some other state, and he was into wrong company. So he got into, to sustain his bad habits, he has to get money, and his father stopped giving him money and expelled him, so he has to steal. So once he was stealing a necklace of the queen, and you know uh, he took the necklace and he was running, and after him there were soldiers of the king. Okay, soldiers of that, maybe the businessman or whoever it is. So he was running and running, and while running, he entered a crematorium. Okay, and in that crematorium, one businessman was he was getting up on something, then again coming down, because it was such an arrangement that if he jumps on that, there was a hole, and in that hole there were, sharp uh, rods. So whoever falls into it will definitely die. Okay, so he has learned this technique, how to become, how you can fly or you can become invisible. That was the vidya that he was, looking for. But he was doubtful. He was doubting that if I'm not able to manifest that knowledge, then I will fall and I will die. So he was just trying to get into that, again coming back. He was not having the uh, braveness to do that. So Anjan saw this, and he knew that the soldiers were after him anyway, he would got caught. So he told the businessman, that merchant, that you give me the mantra, I will try. because anyways I'm going to be get caught and killed, so why not try this? If I'm able to manifest that knowledge how to be invisible, how to fly in the sky, I'll be saved. So what he did, he has no choice. So he took the mantra, he listened to the mantra from that merchant, and he took that risk, and he manifested that knowledge, and the soldiers could not caught him because he became invisible. Okay, and when he became invisible, then he then what happened? Then he got in touch with a monk, and he became a monk. Okay, inspired by that monk's preachings, he became a monk, and he got liberated in the same birth. Now just imagine the transformation, where at one side he was indulging in 7 vices, everything, okay, wrong things, and then suddenly the turnaround came, and he got liberated in the same birth. So this is the value of effort that we put in. We have we can never imagine what we are going to get. You know, we are just satisfied by small things in this life, and spending our major part of time in this, which is not going to come with us. Of course, you need to have financial independence. So that is always there, because if you don't have financial independence, then also you will not be able to study the scriptures. Okay. So, but once you have achieved that level, then you should get into full time studying this. 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. It's so interesting. It has been 15 years. I have never to go outside anywhere to earn money. And not a single day has passed where I don't have things to do. My list is so big. Today I was preparing the slides for the Sunday lecture. So I think out of I'm at 70% now. So tomorrow I'll finish that, or maybe day after tomorrow, then corrections. All the time I'm into engage in this only. Right. Even if I meet only, that also I meet co-religionist only. Otherwise I don't meet any other person. So it is so interesting, it is so absorbing that you don't like to leave it. In college days, I used to read novels, novel storybooks, and that was so interesting that you don't like leaving it. Similarly, our knowledge, this scriptures are so interesting. One by one, you go on reading, and there is no end to it. Okay. So this story of Anjan Chor is an example of Nishankit Ang. Okay. Doubtlessness in the elements. Okay. So this was the first one. So with each component, there are 8 components, and with each component, there is a story associated with it. And that was mentioned in Chadala. When we read this Chadala, I think Chadala was taught by Vijalji, right? I don't remember teaching you Chadala. So there the stories are mentioned. Now we come to the next one. For each component, there is what verse. So verse number 23 was for the first one. Now the second one. Ni Kankshit. Kanksha means desire. Okay. Desirelessness for worldly pleasure. Desirelessness for worldly pleasures. Verse number 24. In this world, one should not desire wealth and similar prosperities, nor in the next world should one desire positions such as universal monarch or Kesava. And one should not desire even other religious system that are tainted by one-sided doctrines. Okay. So in this world also, you should not desire anything. In the next birth also, for the next birth also, you should not desire all those high posts like Chakravarti and Narayan, Indra. All these posts should not be desired. And you should not desire the religion which are tainted. Okay. Commentary. One endowed with right faith does not desire wealth, prosperity, sons, and similar attainments in this world. Nor does such a person desire positions such as Chakra, Chakravarti, Narayan in the next world, by the word, and so on. Positions such as Indra are also implied. Further, one does not desire other religious systems that are defective because they propound a one-sided view of reality. Okay. So the first one was not having doubt. The second one was not having any desire. What is the story associated with it? Mm, I'm forgetting it. It's there in Chedala. Mm, I'll tell you next class. Okay. So I'll connect with all the stories again. So I'll mention with each component one story. Okay. So this is the second one. Now the third one. Okay. We will read the
Sir,
component.
was it Sudarshan Seth?
Uh,
Sudarshan Seth and the Rani? The desire.
I know
don't
that story, but how does that fit here? That is what I'm wondering about.
I just guessed, but I don't know. But I thought might be
So
Sudarshan
I
Seth
think
and that
Sudarshan
Rani.
said story is there in one of the examples, but not in this one. Desire. Mm, I think Revti Rani is in the Amud Drashti. Fourth one is the Revti Rani. Third one is Nirvichikitsa. Nirvichikitsa is the king and the queen story. The celestial being were coming here to examine them. Okay, and they passed out. So it was a merchant and his wife. Yeah, that story was there in the number 3. Number 2 story, desire, ni kangshit. I don't know. I know the story, but right now I'm not remembering it. If you have Chadala handy, somebody, you can tell me. Is there Chadala with you right now? 1 minute. I had it. No, it's not here. Okay.
So 2 minutes, I'll just check.
Yeah. Uh, memory is gone. Unless we revise again and again, we forget it.
I got Sedala, sir, but then where exactly?
It's in the third dhal. Uh, you have got the English book with you?
Yes, sir.
So uh, there is a diagram given 8 components in the third dhal. Just move through maybe around 12-13 words.
Stanza 3.
What it is written there?
The wrong belief in understanding of the living element,
No,
Jiva.
not this one. You go further. 13, 12, 13, you go.
Mm. The components of the right faith continue.
Yes. So next page, their stories would be there. You just check it out.
Okay, You have right due to one.
I think it Hindi version it is there, but English version it is not there. Anyways,
No,
our
sir.
time
No.
is also getting over,
Okay.
and we will catch up in the next class, but we will read this third one also. So second and third story I will tell you in the next class. Now we will connect with this Nirvichikitsa Ang, non-disgust towards the afflicted ones. Okay. So with regard to hunger, thirst, cold, heat, and other various condition, and with regard to substances such as excreta and the like, disgust should never be entertained. Okay. So the story is also of similar kind only. Mm, hmm. Tika commentary. In conditions such as hunger, thirst, cold, heat, and other various painful states, and in impure substances such as excreta and the like, one should not entertain disgust. Vichikitsa means aversion or repulsion. One who is free from it is called nirvichikitsa. When painful states arise due to the fruition of demerit, okay, since one should not become disturbed. You have to train your knowledge so much that it absorbs everything, because actions depended on karmic fruition and not under one's control. Okay, so this is where we close today. The story for Nirvichikitsa is about a merchant and his wife. They were so they were right, both were right believers, and they were very famous. So the celestial beings um, thought of taking examination of them. So they came in the form of a monk, and they vomited in front on the face of the merchant and his wife. Still, both of them uh, never manifested the feeling of disgust. And then the celestial beings showed their original uh, guise, and they told him that you are really true believer, you are really true right believers, and we had heard your stories enough, so we thought of taking examination of you, and you have passed the examination. You have got all the 8 components in you. So this was the story. Now second story we will connect in the next week. Just remind me in case I forget. Of course I will write it, and I will write each story's name in each behind in this exercise book only, so that I don't forget. But anyway, if I forget, you just remind me. Okay. So next we will complete the 8 components of right faith. Then we will study the 8 components of right knowledge. Okay. And then we will move on to the conduct. And in under conduct, the main description will start. So the whole scripture is about the conduct of a lay person. Okay. So we will discuss the vows, the minor vows of a householder. That is the main discussion in this book. Okay, any questions for today?
So could you repeat those three? It's Nirvi Kanshit,
Uh, I will share the
Nirvichikitsit.
Chadala. In Chadala, one
Okay, sir.
diagram, the whole 8 are given. Jinali, you
Okay, sir.
can take a photo and share in the group. Otherwise, I will share. Okay. I'll give you all the names, and it's written here also. And I will give you the English names also. Okay. The proper English names. And you can also
Okay, sir.
refer to the Jeev platform. There also there is an article on the 8 components of a right believer. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
that also you can refer. It is in level 2. I think you can check the chapters, you will get it. Okay. Anything else?
So one more. So
Hmm.
one more thing. What are the 7 vices, sir?
So that also we studied in Vitrag Vigyan part 2. 1 minute. You know, Jua, Shikar, then Parstri Raman, then Vaishagaman, then 4, 5, hunting, then
So is it like
hunting.
the Madhu Mas?
No, not that. These are the 7
Okay.
vices. We had studied in Vitrag Vigyan too. You can connect that. That also I'll share the chapter number and all. You can connect to Vitrag Vigyan and you can
Thank you,
see
sir.
that. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, I've just
Okay.
sent you the picture. Is it right? Then I'll send it on the group.
Okay. Let me see. The one that you saw just now, no? 1 minute. Yeah, this is the one. But leave it. I will share because I have written English names for each. These are all Hindi names, you know. So
Okay.
in my Chadala book, I have written the English names also. So you will get everything at a glance. I will share.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए